why are black men flocking to white women?
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I came across this stitches on my For You and I thought to share with this pan colored man actually reminded a brother that he does not really matter. She is actually the ones that matter if ever he crosses the line. That is to say that no matter what he does, she can actually try to act in some kind of way, and the cop will come, take him, pick him up, put him behind bars. So he really have to mind the way at which he speaks to her. Like he have to really remind himself that I am a black man. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovelies.
White women, watch this video and I'll be right back. Black men, you could watch it too. Let's watch this.
Stop looking at my phone. But you don't understand. Are you hard of hearing?
Bro, so if I slap you right now, are you calling the cops?
If you, first of all, okay, as soon as you reach to try to slap, I box. So I know when to leave some shit.
Sure the cops won't believe me or you. Okay, so please stop and be quiet. That's the face I was making the whole time. I'm just being honest though, like, the only thing that's gonna help you is witnesses.
I got my sister right here.
Cause I'm putting on the best fucking sob story I could ever put on in my life.
It's on stream, dickhead.
She said if the police was called, who do you think they would believe? Me or you, black man? She said that she would cry and do one of the greatest performances she could have ever done to make sure that the police believed her over the black man, even if she's the one that's in the wrong. And the only thing he could say is, oh, well, I have you videotaped. Thank goodness for camera phones. Oh my God. That is a perfect example of how white women understand their white privilege. Anywho, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Remember, diversity equal power. We can change the world when we work together and protect black women. She said that shit out loud.
Check this out, right? I just did a video not too long ago about the 14-year-old boy that went to a all whitey barn party, got called a bunch of N-words and damn near thrown in the meat grinder. I just reposted another story about a brother getting hung in the university, got lynched and hung in the university. Now I'm seeing this. You know what we're doing? We're not learning. You know what I'm saying? We're not learning. You know what I'm saying? We got a bunch of wise men in the streets telling you guys to separate from these people. And we still continue to see certain things that we should be learning, we should have learned already not to do. She said, who are the police going to believe, me or you? Then she said she's going to put sing the sob story of a lifetime or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, we're just setting ourselves up for failure by not separating. You know, you want to learn more on how to separate and how to find maybe a more decent woman? Join the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Get in class, because this is getting ridiculous right now. Come somewhere where you can learn. ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Look it up.
Hey there, my message today is for white women married to black men. If you are not a white woman married to a black man, then you can feel free to stay. But I'm specifically talking to you white women who are married to black men. You are the person who needs to be educating yourself and deconstructing your own inner subconscious biases, white supremacy culture that you've been raised in, and the racism that exists within you. But how could I have those things? I'm married to a black man. Obviously, I'm not racist at all. That is a huge misconception, and that is the problem. And when you hear black folks say that the black Americans' biggest enemy is white liberal women, that's what they're talking about. We think, oh, we're perfect. We are everyone's dream prize because we're not racist and we're all for community and all of those things because we're liberal. The thing is, thinking that way prevents us from growing and learning. You cannot have been raised in the United States of these here Americas without having been highly influenced by the white supremacist culture in which we live. So it is within you, and it is impacting decisions you make, the way that you respond, how you treat other people. It's in there, and it needs to be acknowledged and then deconstructed, because you can't just deconstruct something that you don't believe is there. So I'm going to be showcasing different books and different content creators on here who really are doing a fantastic job and working really hard to make the world a better place. That's the stuff we think we're doing, but we're actually not. We're just sitting back and smiling. So so follow me and we'll go on this journey together. Because even though I've been doing this work for 30 plus years, there's always more to be done. We are never done deconstructing.
So why are black men flocking to white women? Oh, nobody wants to talk about that, so let me address it. First, it's the trauma, but it was actually love. Many of us grew up around our grandmothers. We grew up around our aunts that loved us through survival mode. They would come home and had to deal with us. They would come home exhausted, pained, and because of all of that, we never looked at it as love. We just thought it was trauma. They just did the best that they can do. And so here you have a mother that would give discipline before she gave affection. So they would raise their voices at us. They would be raw with it. The tempers would flare. And so you got commands before you got comfort. And so a lot of black men are still dealing with that. So then the reason that they flock to the white women, some misconstrued, but the reason that they flock to the white women because they equate peace with being the white women are smiling, they're softer, they're not argumentative, they're not coming back at them with anything, they're not correcting them, they're not checking them. But what they don't realize is it's not peace. It's just different pain dressed up in quietness. So in actuality, all he's doing is really decompressing from his childhood. And what black men don't realize is that they're really not running to white women. They're actually running from the women that remind them of their aunts, that remind them of their grandmother, that remind them of their mother, that remind them of their sister's struggle. So they're not really choosing peace. They're just choosing escape. And they're choosing anything that will make them feel dominant. Yeah, that's all they're doing. They just want to feel dominant. They'll say, oh, she doesn't fight me. But all that means is that she doesn't challenge me. They'll say, oh, she doesn't let me lead. But all that's saying is that she just doesn't hold me accountable. It's like they mistake compliance for care. And underneath is the ugliness. There's an anti-blackness where they say that whiteness means peace and blackness means struggle. But when that fantasy dies and the wounds resurface, they realize that it was never about the woman. It was just about the little boy who never really got any rest. Part 2 coming up. Like, comment, and subscribe.
I have a question for some black men, because I know it's not all, so don't come for me saying she said all. I never said that, but I do have a question for some, specifically the black men who choose to date white women, because that is where I have seen it the most. But I was about to go into the store, right? There was a black man there. He was with a white woman. You could tell they were together. Okay. As I'm getting ready to come into the establishment, I'm right behind them. He holds the door for me. I said, thank you. He said, oh, you're very welcome. Okay. There was a black lady right behind me. He let that door go and slam in her face. And I looked, and I even said to him, I said, oh, that was very rude. And he said, what happened? I held the door for you. I said, yes, you did. I said, but why did you let it slam in her face? And he just kind of smirked and walked off. I have noticed that a lot of black men that specifically date white women like to treat black women horribly. And I will never understand that shit. I do not give a damn who you choose to date. You can date whatever fucking race of people you want to date. I don't give a damn. But why must you treat black women so horribly when you choose to date outside of your race? And I have seen this more than once, so don't tell me that was just him, because it's not. I have witnessed it, that when a black man chooses to date another race, he chooses to treat black women like trash. And that's the most ignorant shit I have ever seen in my life. I will never understand that. You have a right. You can have your preference. You can date whoever the fuck you want to date. This is a free country. Nobody said that. You can love whoever you want to love, but why must you just treat black women horribly when you choose to do that? That is the most insane thought process I have ever heard of. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I was dating a black man that specifically treated black women horribly, that specifically just degraded black women, talked down on them, that would be an automatic deal breaker for me. Because why? Your mother is black. Your sisters, if you have them, are black. Your grandmother is black. Why would you do that? Just because you choose to date outside of your race never, ever, ever gives you the right to degrade black women. It's the most disgusting behavior I have ever seen, and I have seen it so many times, and I would love for someone to tell me why. Why do you do that? It's just sickening. Like, I just can't. I would say good day, but that just pissed me off, so whatever.
Facts about being in an interracial relationship or marriage that nobody is going to tell you but me. So listen up.
Please go to her page, watch her entire video talking about, interracial marriage, black people being in relationships with white people. And it's literally everything I fucking say. Like I always say, I just got to be quiet, and eventually somebody's going to say what the fuck I be saying the entire time. But please go watch her video, because I'm sure y'all will listen to her instead of my fat neck ass. Like I was just talking about, how as like when especially black men, right? Because she was talking about like how as the black person, you might even get to their family and there are other black people, but they're assimilating because they want their affirmations, or they'll leave you hanging as the other black person because they don't want to fuck up their gig with the white people in the situation, right? So it's like every man for themselves. But I was talking about how as like a black man specifically, like it's hard because you have to assimilate into their culture or into whiteness if you don't want to remain your authentic self. Because what's going to happen is, for men, they usually, like the black men usually assimilate versus the black women because like women control the culture, right? Women control the culture of the family. That's why it's more likely to see like the black men who are like the coons versus like the black women who are with white men. You know what I'm saying? Because white men the women are usually controlling the culture. But I was saying like, what ends up happening is if you try to remain true to your blackness, that white person has to choose. Am I going to abandon my family and, cut them off to support my black partner, or am I going to make them assimilate into my family and just deal with it? because they don't want to take a hit to their white privilege. They don't want to be the mud shark castaway. You know what I'm saying? And white women are less likely to cut their family off versus the white men for their black partner. Because when you think I'm reaching, but when if white women do cut their family off to be with their black person, they don't want to, like, it's rough to have to be that white person taking all this blackness. That's why the divorce rate amongst interracial relationships are higher with black women and white men, because they don't want to accept, it's hard to accept what comes with being with a black man, and they don't like the shit. So they have to have if they do get the black man, he got to be the one to assimilate into whiteness. Because she talks about the white person, when they get dismissed from their white privilege, they take a hit in their social status and whiteness, right? And white men who are usually with black women tend to be the castaways of white men anyway. Now, I'm not talking about the rich white dudes or the white, you know what I'm saying? They're usually the white dudes white women didn't want anyway. So they get with black women and they're cool, you know what I'm saying? Because they'll get cool points with black people. The white women, on the other hand, when they start taking them hits, it's rough. It's hard. Especially if he's a black man that's true to his blackness. And it goes all the way back to when I said, I went to a white high school. Them white girls, they love to mess with, in college, you know what I'm saying? They love to mess with a black dude behind closed doors and have their fun. But when it's time to graduate or leave and go out into the real world, have families, build generational wealth, have kids and all that shit, they're not gonna do it. They don't want you. But like I said, man, hey, y'all ain't gotta listen to me. Go watch her video. Go watch her video. And then come back to all my fucking videos and then be like, oh shit, maybe he be knowing what he be talking about sometimes.
White people, I have a question. Why do some of your women only date black guys?
So I have many reasons on why I only date black guys, and here's just a few. As a little kid, I was so chunky. I was so fat and constantly bullied for being overweight. And in the grand scheme of things, I really wasn't like that big, but like all the little white boys used to call me fat and ugly, and like they tore me apart. The one kid that like really treated me like he had a crush on me was a little black boy. His name was Alex.
Oh! Y'all remember that video I made a while back? And I told y'all why them white girls, and I told y'all how black men standards are very low, or black men tend to be easygoing and our standards are pretty bottom tier. We pretty much go for whatever, and we need to raise our standards. And how these black women think that these white men just want them so bad. And how black men tend to get the white women that the, you know, male equivalent white male to the black male society doesn't want. She just proved my fucking point. So if the white guys that she wanted would have wanted her growing up, she wouldn't be talking to black dudes. So for all the black chicks who think black men standards are just through the fucking roof, and I was like, no, they're pretty low. My point is proven. And it's mighty funny how this pops up around draft time, but that's gonna be another video. And the wild part is, Shawty used to probably, she was just bad built and chunky. Cause she talking about she had thick thighs and hips. I'm looking at her page. She ain't nothing there. I was saying, eventually, y'all gonna get past getting offended by what the shit I say and actually listen. Just one day somebody gonna give me some credit on this goddamn app before we get cut off and banned. So for all those black chicks who think they about to, oh, I'm just gonna date white. I'm just gonna date outside my white. I'm gonna go get me a white man. You better lay off the motherfucking Popeyes. Better put that pizza puff down before you trying to go cross over to the pink meat Peter Weedy.
You know, in 2025, so many of these type of people still remind black men that, you know, being a pan-colored woman is still beneficiary, and which is so obvious, you know, obviously it is, you know, it's still very, very much beneficial. And the thing is that I have seen countless numbers of stitches like this, and one thing I want to actually say is that you can choose to love and be in a relationship with whosoever that treats you right, whosoever that you are attracted to, right? You can actually do your thing, but while you're doing that, you also need to be your own safe place. You also need to think of ways that you have to save yourself, especially if you are a black man in an interracial relationship. I wouldn't say much. Like I wouldn't say it's also equal to black women dating a white man. They have their own issue, but I don't think it's like I don't think when a black woman who is in an interracial relationship with a white man actually cries out. No, no, when a pan colored man cries out, and I don't see it that way. Like I've not seen a pan colored man crying and the police have to come and get the black woman arrested for humiliating the pan colored man. I don't think, even if it does, it's in a very small percentage. But if you see the case of a black man in an interracial relationship with a pan colored woman, the percentage is so high. Like the second woman I staged her video, she actually narrated how her biracial son, who is in a relationship with a pan colored woman, had an encounter with his girl. So in her story, she said that her son, who happens to be a biracial, not even a black man, a biracial, was having, some type of disagreement with his partner, who happens to be a pure snow bunny, right? And all of a sudden, this lady started crying. And when the lady started crying, her her own son had to like distance himself from the lady. Do you know why? Because the mother has already informed him about things like this. So many black men have been forcefully put on jail term because of stuff like this. That biracial kid was so smart enough to leave the girlfriend there. Like, you know how they do it. She started having tantrums, started crying, just a little misunderstanding, right? And this dude was so wise enough to leave the scene. Just imagine that this dude didn't leave the scene. What could have happened if the cop or if the police people comes for the girl's rescue? But this man was so wise enough to leave the scene. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that even as a black man who is in an interracial relationship and you see stuff like this, I think it's very advisable for you to just leave the scene. Just leave the scene. Because for her to just stand up and say this with her full chest, that is to tell you that they know. And that is a weapon against black men. So many pink colored women, I think they use such a weapon. I have seen some stitches of, you know, how they treat black men, and some of them uses the N word. When you get them angry, they use the N word on you. It happens, and it's still happening. I'm not even shocked. I'm not surprised that she have to say it. I'm not shocked because I have seen so many scenarios like this. It happened, and it has happened. So many do that behind bars, but that does not really mean that someone is against your relationship or whatsoever. Usually, when you're even doing it, you should be wise enough to have it at the back of your mind that if anything happens, nobody's gonna listen to you as a black man. Nobody's gonna listen to your own side of the story. Before you even have a chance to say your own side of the story, you're already behind bars. You are ready to go any lengths, act any kind of drama just to get you behind bars. So you have to use your number six. I like the fact that she's so bold to say this so that the people at the back will hear it. Sometime 3 months ago, if not 4 months ago, a black man was unalived by his fiancée, who has 2 to 3 children. Although this black man is so anti-black women that he even goes as far as to say that he rather lay with a dog, or is it a goat, instead of him to lay with a black woman. I wouldn't say that he got what he deserved. No, nobody actually deserved nothing of such. But these are the cases. He was pupilled by his own fiancée. and this woman target is self-defense. Anyway, I raised my case. Wanna just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, please. If you've not subscribed to this channel, you got a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you lovely when I upload the next one. Leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please do not forget that we do not, support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please share this video, subscribe, leave a thought, and I will see you lovely when I upload the next one.